What we want to avoid from the past is to invest in outdated technology. So it's quite clear that if it comes to the new, modern, green, sustainable, and telecommunications and ICT technologies, they clearly would be at the forefront. I would say big businesses, small businesses, the government just relied heavily on the digital technologies, and without them, we simply wouldn't be able to function as a modern society. So that's, I would say, the positive side. Negative side, of course, is that how this new platform and technical giants would use this new position in place, these new powers, and therefore I think we have to be very, very careful what's happening with our data and how we are going to regulate that space within which they operate.
These are the tools we have to use, but the framework and the values and the principles are the ones we were supposed to be setting in the upcoming and the ongoing, actually, legislation. So what I would point out and highlight is that we definitely have to make sure that this crisis, it's a health crisis, it will definitely become an economic crisis, and we have to avoid having it becoming a political crisis. So we have to safeguard our democracies. We have to be able to balance how we use these tools in order to avoid, for example, surveillance or, let's say, exclusion and discrimination. We see this happening, this contact tracing. I don't believe it's valuable, actually.
ICT previously is only about connectivity, but in the future is more about a secured ICT infrastructure, is more about enable the other industry in their digital transformation. The worldwide need actually the policymakers to pay attention to the future cyberspace governance or the international mechanism. And that is somewhere I'm looking forward to work with the policymakers here with the EU to provide the certainty for the industry.
When the health emergency is under control, we will need to kickstart the economy, fostering those investments needed to rebuild and strengthen the European economy. And it is obvious that promoting and strengthening the digital economy must be one of the key foundation of our investment plans. And there is no other choice, because digital economy and new technologies play a critical factor for the European competitiveness, for the European productiveness, and this means for our future prosperity. I think that the COVID crisis has shown how important digital economy is, for business continuity, but also for fighting the pandemic, and we need to use new digital health solutions that will be also very important for the future.
This crisis really serves as an accelerator, and what we would see, I'm pretty sure, would be transition to a new normal, which would be more digital, which would be more sustainable, and where we would put much more focus on resilience. And together with Eva, I believe we will do the best use of data which are available to improve our quality of foresight, so we will not so shell-shocked and surprised where the next crisis would come, and we would be better prepared for it.
I think the funding we were discussing before the pandemic, it was like 10 billion. I think it will increase. And I agree with our Vice President, we will accelerate this process. And I think we have increased funding, and everything will go through the angle of digital and green. So it's going to be an angle. It doesn't have to be a priority anymore. I think it's going to change all the sectors. And I will steal this quote that I think Lagarde stole from Draghi. We have to do whatever it takes in order to be stronger after this pandemic.